5 ways to instantly make better videos. And I'm talking about videos for Instagram, UGC videos, brand deals, all kinds of videos. We're not just talking about quality and like upgrading your equipment, because that's not what it's about. We're talking about what actually goes inside that video. To start off, I think the most important part is actually understanding the why you're making it. And it's not only about, okay, this is a topic I want to talk about, let's go and let's make the video. One thing that I've learned in the past is really digging deep into the emotion that you want the other person on the other side of the screen that's watching the video to feel, to grasp, to understand. That's a huge part. Because you can talk about a topic, I can talk about a topic, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the person on the other side of the screen is going to understand it and interpret it in the same exact way that we are saying it, explaining it, or teaching it. So let's say that you're making a video about a product that you love for a brand that you are super passionate about. You can talk about this product. Let's say this water that I have right here, this gigantic water, because I need to be drinking water all the time. So this product, right, that I love, I can talk about this so much, yet the other person on the other side of the screen, maybe they're not a water fan, maybe they don't want to carry this huge thing around. They might not even understand and want to continue watching the video because really there's no point in it. But if I dig deep into the emotion that I want that person to feel, for example, to talk about where this water is actually sourced from so that they understand that they should be consuming something that they know where it's coming from, something natural. I'm not saying that that water is that in that case. This is just an example. So something that actually they know exactly, like coming from the source, that it's natural, that it's not going through this whole process. That's so much different. If I make that whole video talking about the origin of the water, the founder's story, that complete thing, whether you like it or not, you were hooked, and that emotion that I wanted to communicate, I promise you, it's going to get communicated. But of course, that takes us over to number 2, which is actually putting yourself in that person's shoes. Because at the end of the day, yes, you can communicate the emotion, but if it's somebody who has never drank water before, who hates water, well, you need to interpret the story in a bit of a different way. That's why understanding who your audience is on the other side of the screen is so important. If I'm making that video for kids trying to increase their interest in water, I'm talking in a very different way than if I'm talking to seniors that I want them to drink more water because it's so important for them, right? And of course, this happens and this relates to any style of video that you're creating, whether it's something short for Instagram, a 15-second clip, or a whole long, huge YouTube video, like anything, it applies to either or. And while I am a fan of making videos as natural as possible, and I'm going to talk about that in point number 5, because honestly, it's a bit controversial, but I do highly, highly think that when a video is scripted, not word for word, but at least bullet pointed, like outline video, is going to be a lot better. Doesn't matter what type of video, doesn't matter who the person in the video is, doesn't matter what the topic is, it's always going to be better. And by scripting it, I mean focusing on your hook, on the points that you're having, because a video needs to capture in the first 5 seconds. The video also needs to give me in the middle, like, why are these people watching? And of course, at the end, you always have to have a call to action, which really ties into point number 1 of understanding your goal. What do you want the person to do, to learn, to take away from watching this video? Now, the actual technical part of scripting varies depending on what style of video it is. Obviously, there are tons of different styles. For example, even in UGC, there's like more than 6 different formats of UGC videos that you can do. You can do educational, you can do actual like sales videos, you can do like normal testimonials. There's a ton of things. And the scripting is super important to narrow down depending on the style of video, because on some you might have to do like a pain point, then a solution, and then you plug what the actual product is. On others, you can talk about like the 3 benefits. It varies, but my secret to this, trust me when I mean it's the ultimate secret, because not that many people know about it, is using a platform that I love. If you watch my videos, you've probably heard about it before, because it is an all-in-one platform, and it's Copy AI. It has like a section for videos, even sales copy that you can use in a video when you are doing a sales video. And there's just tons of different examples. Social media content, personal videos, and you write what the topic is, the main points, and then Copy AI will actually structure and script it out for you. And whether you decide to do word for word script or just bullet pointed, because that is entirely up to you. That doesn't make or break a video. That will not increase or decrease the quality. That just depends on the actual person who is doing the video, and each person is completely different. I'm personally a person that loves doing bullet points. I can't do word for word because I like adding in different things, and then I'd always be like looking at my script. But I know tons of people, even super successful YouTubers, that go word for word and their content performs so well. So that's up to you. But having a script, that's something that's necessary. And I do have to give you a little tour because this is a very different place that I'm filming from. If you guys watch my videos, this is a rooftop in Portugal where I'm currently at. And it honestly has the best lighting and the best colors that I said. Have to sit down and film here today. And that exactly takes us to point number 4. This is something that varies, and obviously it depends on the actual video that you're making. But if you can add movement, if you can incorporate some type of something going on besides the video, the viewer is automatically going to get even more hooked. It's proven. It increases the engagement, the viewership. It's literally proven by the stats. And take it a step further by adding more than one storyline, and that video is set to perform. Because as humans, we love to understand what's going on and what's happening. That's why if I'm sharing a video, but then I'm also walking around the streets of Portugal or sharing my day, that video is automatically going to have a higher percentage of viewership. I've tested it and I've seen it. But the reality is it's not that easy. And it's not that easy to do in a video, to maintain it, to continue that storyline and also carry something else, because there's a lot going on for the person that's recording the video, which is why I don't think that many people do it that often. But if you see like anything that's on the rise right now, like the get ready with me is while you're doing the makeup, while you're telling a story, it's that same exact thing. There's movement, you're doing something, but you're adding in another storyline. And that's obviously not the only way that it can be done. It can be done thousands of different creative ways, and that's the coolest part. So it is tricky, but getting into the habit of implementing it more and more is going to take that video up an entire notch. And with that, we jump into the last, number 5, which I know I said was gonna be a bit controversial. I truly think it is, because I've heard both sides of the story, but this is coming from my own personal experience, starting from absolutely no experience of recording videos or being on camera to now having more than like 200 videos up on the online space. So here it goes. The theory is basically that I don't believe you should be doing multiple takes over and over and over again until you nail the shot. Yes, it's normal. Yes, it's normal. Yes, it's normal to repeat what you want to say. Just don't sit there and do it for 5 minutes, because I promise you, you get stuck in your head, you overwhelm yourself, and you get stuck on one point of the video instead of continuing down the line. If you focus on just getting that part out, saying it as best as you can, because done is better than perfect, always. That is always my motto. So at least getting it out, it's going to be a lot better than you sitting there trying to perfect every single sentence of the video until it's absolutely perfect. And I know that a lot of people will say the contrary, will say to keep on doing it and doing it until you nail that shot, especially when it's something like the hook, which is a very important part of the video. But I don't agree. I really think that getting it out as natural as possible is the secret, because that's also what people relate to, and that makes the video go to a whole nother level. Even if it's a professional brand deal, whatever style of video you're doing, as natural as possible, I feel will always connect to humans, and they'll always get hooked by that authenticity. Because at the end of the day, a video is just a way of communicating, and we're all communicating day in and day out. But putting a camera in front is like a whole nother barrier that those of you that do it, you guys understand that sometimes it's like, whoa, what's happening? I'm literally just talking, but there's a camera in front, and now everything has completely changed. And that's why sometimes making those high quality videos can get a little complicated, but we have to keep in mind that we're just communicating, that we're just trying to communicate that emotion that we want that person to feel. And of course, no one is born an expert on camera because it is something that is completely learned, a skill that has to be repeated over and over and over again.